thank you for being here. Welcome. We are able to benefit from the opportunity to have the Oriant team of coaches here. So excited. One of my favorite things about this group or about this company is that it generates behavioral outcome.
We do consistently see outcomes like weight loss and change in biometrics, which are generally a positive thing for our participants to see. We see that our coached population is always making improvements compared to our non-coached population, things that we can't actually test for, but we do get feedback on about quality of life and energy management and actually feeling better and improvements in relationships with family, with work, and productivity. So while we love to see the biometrics get better and indicate that improved health, we also see it in reported lived experiences with our participants.
Tell us a little bit about how does Oriant work?
Interesting question. So what we do as coaches, is that what I'm hearing you asking about? Yeah. What do we do as coaches? So to describe our job, I guess I would have to describe the purpose of our job to start off with. There's frequently this disconnection between intention and action, right? Where it's common knowledge that eating fruits and vegetables, exercising, managing stress, getting 8 hours of interrupted sleep, all of these things come together and contribute to a person's overall health and well-being. The problem is that it's difficult to follow through with those habits and or maintain them for long periods of time. So what we do as health coaches, and what's really the foundation of what we do, is that we work by developing trust and rapport, and we create a partnership with who we call participants. Some people might call them patients or members or policy owners or whatever. We call them participants. We create a partnership with them. We develop trust and rapport with them. We help them identify what their current strengths and abilities are. We help them engage with those strengths to help them reach their goals. We provide support, we provide resources. We're going to help them identify barriers, help them create strategies and tools to overcome those barriers. We're going to be accountability partners. All of that working together to just support their vision of what health and wellness means to them. And that could mean, often we think of health and wellness and we think of nutrition and exercise, but that's really including all aspects of your life. So your emotional wellness, your mental wellness, your social wellness, intellectual, your occupational wellness, financial wellness, all of these different dimensions. And that's what Oriant coaches do, is that we take a really holistic approach that focuses on the individual.
How is that making a difference in that employer's expenditure long-term? I mean, we know the general, but talk to me about some examples of things that you're experiencing.
Yeah, that's a good question, because it all kind of comes down to the bottom line, right? Of how is it going to help the employer to utilize a program like this? And it's nice because, I do have the ear of the employees of the companies that use our program. So I'm talking to them on a regular basis about what's important to them and what's going on in their lives, because we've had the opportunity to develop a rapport. I'm in contact with my clients on a regular basis, and we're able to talk about what's going on in their lives that might be affecting their job. One of the sentiments that I get the most from them is just that they're happy that there's someone there to talk to about these things, because a lot of times they don't know where to go and who to really talk to help them. And so I get that a lot of just like, well, thank you. Even just talking to you on a regular basis is helpful for me. I definitely think that there's a lot that employees feel like they can't say, right? There's a lot that they feel like right now that they don't have control over in the world, within their jobs. I have a lot of clients who are working 2 or 3 full-time jobs and are still struggling to make ends meet. So it's really vital for them to have someone that they can talk to about those things, because they feel, when you speak those types of things out loud, it feels more manageable. So just having the listening ear of someone.
It's not just someone to talk to. Our coaches are extensively trained in motivational interviewing. They're using specific techniques that place their participants in what we would call the expert seat, because we believe that the participant, the person, is the expert on their own life. They know what they need, and they sometimes just need help, guidance in how to get there and how to apply it. And so these coaches are using really specific skills that get employees or participants to create their own argument for change. It is so much more powerful when you have a partner that you're working with that places you in this expert role, that emphasizes that you have the strengths and ability to be successful, and that you are the one arguing for your own change. It's much more impactful if me, Jenny, says, I need to go to therapy. I know that this is going to be beneficial for me for these reasons, more so than Coach Rachel saying, Jenny, you've got some issues, you need to go to therapy, and it would be really helpful for you. And so all of these things that these coaches are describing has so much value, because they're getting people to make their own arguments for change, which makes it a lot more likely for those people to actually follow through and sustain with those new behaviors.
What is your most desired message to the employer?
I think for me personally, I would talk to them about how implementing a program like this shows a level of respect and care that they have for their employees. I know it's impossible for, executives to meet with and talk with all of their employees on a regular basis and be engaged in their life and what's happening, but engaging with a program like this, where someone is there to listen, someone is there, it shows that the executives care about what's going on in their employees' lives. They care about how they're doing and want to see them succeed. And so if I were to sit down and talk with them, I would say the amount of investment that you put into your employees will come back to you in their dedication to the company and their loyalty to you, and just the feeling of camaraderie that they have within the company itself.
Megan?
I was thinking the exact same thing, specifically the word investment, that, employees know whether their employee cares or not. They feel that investment or lack of, and it's a kind of relationship that's going to be reciprocated. If there's a lack of investment, you'll probably get a lack of investment from your employees. But if you do invest in that success, in their development as a person, then you get that in return.
I would challenge them to go one step further. Recruiting a company like Oriant and engaging and encouraging their employees to work with health coaches is fantastic. We're awesome at our jobs. We've been in this for, over 30 years collectively. We're really good at what we do. We've seen a lot of changes in a lot of people. I would say that's going to get you results if you invest in health coaching and if you invest in your employees. If you take it one step further, where the employers and the company itself is changing to support their employees, it's going to make our job much easier, and it's going to impact the employee even more. What Megan was mentioning earlier of a common tool that coaches end up teaching or working with their participants on is controlling what you control, which is an important skill. We all have to learn that, right? We can only control ourselves and our reactions, not other people. That being said, we can only do so much of helping individuals manage their stress if they're required to work 80-hour work weeks under extremely difficult work environment or conditions. And so our job can go so far. Employers can support coaches and their employees, more importantly, by creating environments that are conducive for them to have their optimal health and well-being. They can find out what those core values are for their employees, and they can revitalize them. If you want healthy and happy employees, find out what's important to them and create a company culture and structure that's going to facilitate that.
That really matters, I think, and just kind of bringing this piece of this conversation around full circle, that matters, is what I'm hearing from you clearly. So let me change gears just a little bit and jump over to Resilience Pro. The conference is brought to you by Aspirational Healthcare, and which is an Oriant company, and it is also sponsored by Resilience Pro. What does Resilience Pro do for me as a company?
Resilience Pro, from my perspective as a coach, right, because it's more like the boots on the ground, working with the individuals. There's more team cohesiveness and everybody that would be involved in your health and wellness management versus I get this from this person, I get this from this person, I get this from this person, and me as the individual has to put it together myself. We're all putting it together as a team.
There is also a self-reported aspect to it as well, where the employee themselves get the opportunity to check in on a regular basis on how balanced they're feeling in all areas of their well-being.
Well, I think this has been awesome. Thank you so much, ladies. And just in wrapping it up from my perspective, it's critical in an aspirational model to have a coaching relationship, to have a primary care relationship, to have relationships with the appropriate TPAs, the appropriate organizations that can deliver you as an employer the variable needs that exist in the marketplace today. Coaching is a significant component that is different than primary care. Having a primary care model matters. It's also critical for people to have access to whether it's a direct primary care or virtual primary care. We're talking about two different process here, and these live side by side with each other. And I would encourage everybody who comes to this session, watches the session, to take the opportunity to look deeper into this coaching process, because at its core, it has the ability to move the meter as much or more than anything else or any other components inside of a plan. So thank you, ladies. Appreciate it.